Hey guys, welcome to the Trade Genius Podcast. Bob and Phil here as always. Tomorrow is the FOMC announcement. We're going to find out if they do another quarter point raise or do they surprise us. We're going to talk about that in this video. We're also going to share a chart with you so that you guys know what to expect after the announcement. Let's dive in.
Trade Genius.
Hey guys, I'm gonna tell you something that we do that really will change the way in which you look at trading and also absolutely help you increase your profitability and how much money you make. It's the Trade Genius newsletter. We put the newsletter out Sunday night through Thursday night, and this really looks at the plumbing of the markets and helps prepare you for the next trading day and help you make money. And we give you a lot of information. We give you market statistics, we give you market levels, we give you the seasonality, what's happening with different sectors of the market, and we will help you identify whether the market's in a bear mode or a bull mode, or whether it's euphoric, whether it's despondent, and it just puts you in a position to be on the right side of the trade. So take advantage of our offer that we have below, and you'll love it. I mean, one trade that you make with this thing can pay for definitely a month, maybe even a year's worth of service. It's that powerful. Use promo code PODCAST for 15% off the retail price of newsletter. Thanks for listening.
All right, Bob, we getting a quarter point? We getting half a point? Or are we getting no point?
Yeah, so I think, in my view, we're going to get a quarter point, and then he's going to be, I think he's going to be dovish after that, and so I think the initial reaction out of the Fed meeting, if you look at the chart that you want to throw up here, ever since we've been rising, you get a positive reaction, then you get a negative pullback, then they grind it higher again, and so this is really fascinating. When market was falling, every one of his reactions were positive, basically like short covering rallies. Now everybody's max long. I mean, if you just look at it, you'd be hard pressed to find a stock that's struggling, And so I think people front run a lot of things. The only thing interesting to me on this, Phil, and I'd like to get your opinion, is that energy and the commodities and precious metals have really just awakened, however you want to say it, woke up. And so I think if he has any kind of dovish at all, we may get a reaction in the commodities that are going to start flying. I mean, take a look at ADM, take a look at oil, and look what India's doing with the rice crop and what Russia's doing with wheat. And, we're setting ourselves up for, probably worst case scenario for the Fed, where they probably shouldn't keep raising, but they may have to because inflation's going to come and start separating itself again. And then we had the situation where the stagflation really comes into fore.
Yeah, I think I'm going to disagree a little bit, and I think he's going to be hawkish afterwards because I think the core PCE being above the unemployment rate is still an issue for them. So I'm going to take a little different viewpoint on that, but we'll see. One thing I was going to point out on this chart is that the moves down off of his announcements, that's been pretty steady on this grind higher. What is going to be, or what you want to watch for, is when you do get the pullback. This is a daily chart, so you can see there's multiple days where we tend to pull back after the announcement. But once you get that 2-day basically reversal, that bounce, you want to mark that low, because typically what's been happening is you don't violate that low once you get that initial reversal, and so that would maintain this trend higher. And so if we do get a lower low off of that reversal, give it 3-4 days to come down, you're going to get a day or two of a bounce, mark that low. If we start breaking that low on this next announcement, then possibly we are rolling back over, because that is one thing they have not allowed this market to do, and that is to break down after that reversal comes in after these pullbacks from his announcement. So I would expect the same, chop around next week, pull back, and then mark a low, and then we see what happens from there.
Yeah, I mean, look, everything tells us that August should be weak, but the way and for me, just so everybody knows how I'm positioned is that, I'm long energy, I'm long commodities, I'm long precious metals, and I've been taking my shots short on the indexes and the Qs. So that's how I'm short in video. So that's how I'm positioned. So it'd be interesting to me to see if we get more of a rotation than a pure sell-off, but with the indexes being heavy. That would be my ideal scenario. I think that should play out. But man, if you look at the volatility chart, Phil, seasonality from September into August into October, things should get pretty wonky here over the next 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, no, I agree. We've been, going up into July, which seasonally is the case. We did have, due to OPEX, the tailwinds that were pushing us up in OPEX have, been removed. So the market's been pretty resilient to kind of keep its head above 4,600 here for sure. So I think we're kind of now getting to that point where we're in that holding pattern ahead of tomorrow's announcement. And then as far as the announcement goes, unfortunately, I can't live stream that, but we will be talking about that in the VIP room. We'll be doing basically that in there, and going to be looking at how that range develops after the announcement, because the algos have been doing some very, very consistent things after the announcement, and so they'll establish a range, and then how we play around that range is really going to dictate what happens for the rest of that day and then going into the rest of the week as well. So we should know more after tomorrow and get a better idea of what Powell's thinking going forward. So yeah, Bob, I think as far as the outlook for that tomorrow, that's kind of where I sit.
Yeah, and look at companies that are reporting are generally, if you miss by a little bit, you're getting punished. I mean, look at Spotify is down $20, $23, $24 today.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's we'll probably get into more of a stock pickers market again, and I think there's going to be a lot of, like I said, a lot of variability, a lot of volatility. But I see best case scenario is we get a rotation for the market. Worst case scenario is the market just everybody just decides to sell. So it's gonna be an interesting end of summer into the fall. But I agree with you for tomorrow. Other than I think he's gonna probably come across a little bit more dovish than not. So we'll see who's right, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. Thanks for listening, guys.
Take care. Bye bye.
Trade Genius.